Good morning, everybody. Enjoy your breakfast. Welcome to Scottsdale. I'm going to quickly touch on Catalyst before we dive into hopefully what's a little bit more interesting. Catalyst has been a full-service search and social agency since 1998. We started as an SEO agency the same year Google was established. So we have been in the game for a long time, being a pioneer and a thought leader through. And with that, myself, I'm Karl. I work in client development, bringing and developing new strategies for search, social, and programmatic. And I will let Viv introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Vivian. I'm the VP of Client Direct at Catalyst, so basically managing a team that manages strategy across all digital, from SEO, search, social, programmatic, everything.
All right, from brand awareness to first bite. Don't blame us, we did not come up with the title.
So we're going to dive right into it. I think the best way to kind of tell this story is kind of picking a consumer. So we want to introduce you to Ellie. Let's talk about Ellie. So Ellie has a lot going on. She's a single mother. She lives in Connecticut. She might work in digital media, but she has a 9 to 5. She also has a lot of things she has to think about because she likes to work out. She likes to socialize with her friends. Her day-to-day looks a lot like this. When you look at, if you look at Ellie as a consumer, you think about there's so many different ways you as marketers can communicate to her. And there's so many different chances to kind of connect with her. However, how do you connect with her without understanding what she does on a day-to-day basis? So kind of taking it out. You can talk to her when she's on her way to work on a commute. You can send her an ad when she's at the gym, maybe something through audio, even down to advertising to her just before she heads out for dinner with her family. A lot of marketers, when you think about it, and this is really what we're trying to kind of change the conversation a little bit, we always make decisions from, and I'm guilty of that. When I'm putting together a media plan, I always look at what channels do I want to activate on first, and then think about the audience later. Well, if there's one thing you can take away from this whole presentation is that you need to think about your audience first. So you need to think about Ellie. What's Ellie's behavior, right? What is she browsing? What is she purchasing? And looking at that and understanding that should then tell you exactly where you should focus your advertising dollars when it comes to where she is in the customer journey, right? So looking at it versus on awareness, exploring, and action. But really should really get down to Ellie first as a human. Because when it gets down to it, to your customers, your Ellies, for them, it's all one holistic view, right? They don't look at it going, right, I saw an ad on Google for this brand, and then I saw it in audio. They look at it as, this specific brand was advertising to me, and I saw the ad too many times. So think of it as a holistic user journey all the way from awareness to loyalty. So I want to look into, when you look at awareness, there's so many different ways you can kind of grab Ellie's attention, right? And it's all about getting scale and creating impact. So some of the examples we can kind of look at is, did I mention that Ellie has a lot going on? She lives at home with her mom and dad, as well as her 2 kids. I keep saying to Karl, this is going to be his life in a few years from now. But the main point is, how do you then look at, I'm going to reach Ellie, but I also want to talk to everybody that could influence Ellie's decision in terms of what decisions she makes when it comes to entertaining and feeding her family. So some of the things you could look at that is, if you're looking at the most traditional brand awareness channel there is, which is TV, right? You could look at TV as one siloed buy, but really you should look at it as an omni-channel kind of approach, right? So you can start by short attention span, short video, that's your social media video, down to more targeted long-term content. And then later on in the evening, maybe when she's chilling with her family, try to think about, maybe now we can actually do the big story throughout the passive, longer content. But again, the main point here is looking at Ellie first, sequential targeting, and targeting her with the right kind of creative and the right message depending on where she is in the journey. And then when Ellie's alone, right? Ellie's at the gym, she's working out. Maybe you want to give her a personalized ad. So that's when you can start thinking about audio, Spotify. I know that some of the Spotify guys are here. But, think about, right, let's target her when she's at the gym with a specific audio ad. Again, speaking to Ellie, but keeping in mind that this is another touch point.
All right, thanks, Viv.
You're welcome.
Ellie and I don't have a ton in common, but I'm a guy, she's a woman. She has kids, I don't have kids. I do have a ton of nieces and nephews. And so when it comes to the idea of quick serve, I truly do appreciate that value. Get in, get out with the kids. It's important. Ellie's got to go through her consideration process from the same way anyone else does. It's not the same for any other user. The thing is, at the end of the day, when you look at search engines, you're still doing research. You're still looking at how you're going to actually engage with your consumer. The biggest thing you need to be able to be present on, and the increase in, I think it's something along the lines of 85 to 87% increase year over year on near me searches. People are that's how they're searching, near me. Your local search needs to be completely on target. Name, address, and your phone number, NAP. Perfect. But from an SEO perspective, what's not often thought about are the people that are doing research on their diet, making sure that from the aspect of people who are going a little bit farther, that are scratching the surface, making sure that your content is being delivered to them for the research that they're actually doing. They're also going on things like Yelp, directories. They're looking at reviews. Ellie is going through, and she wants to know what other moms' experiences are. She's also influenced by her friends. So things like Instagram. I mean, how many people have a friend or someone they know who is a prolific food photographer? Everything they do. Those are all aspects of influence. We don't have a lot of time today, so I'm not going to go wholly into analytics, but I want to bring home one point when it comes to search and the blending of analytics, first and third-party data. Adages are the same. It's garbage in, garbage out. And data is only as good as your means to be able to utilize it for the means to drive efficiencies and to make strategic decisions. With this retail client, one of the things that we put together was a pretty interesting conquesting strategy where instead of just doing regular geo-targeting where we wanted to go hit near and around their stores, we mapped that against their competitor locations. We looked at where the spaces were that would be quote-unquote battlegrounds, where they might want to up bids from a paid search perspective or activate from a programmatic perspective. We looked at safe zones where we didn't need to spend money. The entire idea is making the best use of every dollar that you're putting into the market itself. So challenge your agencies on helping you think how they can utilize the data better. We're going to tie this up, lastly, with action. So obviously, Ellie's gone. She's got her kids. Now she's ready to make a decision. So we talked a little bit about how you need to be present from a NAP perspective, name, address, phone number. Same thing, there's other means to activate, whether that's through mapping advertising like Waze, but having all the historical data as well and being able to then, from a retention standpoint, bring Ellie back in. Remind her of the ease that she had when she did bring her kids or parents or whomever she loves in to your location. And we'll tie it up quickly, kind of walks through from the awareness to the research to the action, but it all comes together when you're converting searches to sales. That's the ultimate goal for all of us. There's a role for paid media. There's a role for organic media as well. Capitalize on the near me trends. And Viv, want to talk a little bit about us?
I mean, there's so many ways you could do it. I think I was just chatting to somebody just a minute ago, and one of the things they said was that there was this promise of digital having so much data, and now we have all this data that all sits siloed, and we're not using it to make informed decisions, right? So our job is to think about how do we tie all that together. You know, a good example is that if you run a digital out-of-home, you run an out-of-home campaign, how about you get those device IDs and then try to target those people later on with programmatic, right? And then driving people through your local search and getting those device IDs back, getting them to download your app. But even better still, app downloads mean nothing if somebody's not going into that app and actually ordering something or actually doing an action, right? So get your agencies to think more, instead of driving CTR and clicks and CPS, how do I drive people to a specific action? And to do that, you really need to be tying all those data pieces together.
Great. Thank you, Viv.
You're welcome.
So it really is a journey, and it's a journey for Ellie every time. Don't take that retention for granted. Just because, as Viv said, they download the app, that not necessarily a loyalist. Utilize sequential messaging. Utilize the tools that are in your basket to be able to build that relationship, an ongoing relationship with your consumer. And that's it. We'll leave you guys to breakfast.
Thank you.
John, Viv, thanks so much. Any questions for these guys before we let them off the hook? If not, you have a team here, right?
Yes.
Guys?
We do.
We do.
Blair is here with us as well.
So, okay, so we got Blair from Catalyst and Xaxis, right?
Yep.
So don't be fooled by the name tags. So the three of them can answer any questions you guys may have. And also, this will be available post-show. All the content that you see over the 3 days will be available post-show back on the website when we get back home. So,
All right.
big round of applause for Viv and John. Thanks, you
Thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate it.